It's time for another vlog from my trip from 2019. This time I'm going to explore Dushanbe and make my way to a very special lake, Iskander-Kul, which apparently is such a great lake that the president of Tajikistan has his own little dacha, his own little holiday house out by the lake. And it is Kazakhstan where we begin this adventure in Almaty on my way to the airport. Taxis can be quite a annoying experience in Almaty. I got absolutely ripped off on my way to my hotel from the airport, so I should warn you about a little scam that happens, and that is they have like a phone app which acts as a meter, and I'm not sure what currency it's supposed to be in. Basically, at the end of the day, what they were trying to charge me in Kazakh tengi was a lot more than it should have been. Well, at least like 3 times, 4 times what it should have been. In the end, I sort of paid about half of what was on the thing, which was still too much. So I learned my lesson, and the next day I got the hotel to actually book my taxi, which had a set fare, which was a lot fairer. And I was on my way to the airport. Check-in experience. It's a nice enough airport, I guess. Doesn't have much that's going to interest you. Not a lot of shops, and the cafe is pretty simple. But I was soon on the flight, Air Astana from Almaty to Dushanbe. It was an absolutely stunning flight. And here we are on Air Astana, heading over the mountains on one of the most spectacular flights you're likely to find in the region, all the way to the capital of Tajikistan, Dushanbe. I mean, just look at some of those mountains, aren't they spectacular? All covered in snow. But it wasn't a long flight, only about an hour, and before I knew it I was scooting over the top of the suburbs of Dushanbe and touching down on the Tajik capital. After the short flight time of around an hour and a half, I touched down in the Tajik capital of Dushanbe, and I soon had a taxi which took me to my hotel, which was on Rudaki Avenue. It's the most central street in the capital city. It's a wide avenue. It's got sort of a pedestrian area in the middle, and to the sides you have the cars going either way, and you'll find lots of things to send if you just sort of go up and down. There's buses and trams that go, it's like trolley buses I should say, not trams, going up and down Ridaki Avenue, and that will take you to lots of different places that are worth seeing and checking out. For example, there are a couple of museums in Dushanbe that I went to. The National Museum, which is in a very modern building, which is almost as interesting for the building itself than for what you see inside it. And the Museum of National Antiquities, which houses a 13-metre long Buddha. Strangely enough, you can find a replica of this Buddha in the National Museum. But the real thing is in the National Museum of Antiquities. Perhaps the most impressive and interesting building in all of Dushanbe is the Navrouz Palace, which boasts to be the largest tea house in the entire world. Now, I don't know if that's particularly true or not, but inside you'll find it's actually a building which is used for conferences, state visits, balls. There are several ballrooms. There are at least 2 or 3 very special conference rooms. It's absolutely stunning. It's huge. It's on an immense scale, and you can see sort of how the charisma and ego of the president Rahman sort of resonates in this building and over a lot of Dushanbe. And that's another thing you'll find not only in Dushanbe but across much of Tajikistan. Constant photos and portraits and statues of Rahman the president. He's been president since independence, since the Soviet Union split up back in 1991, I think it was, and people like him. And I don't think it's through fear. I think they genuinely like him. They think he's done a great job, and it's hard to argue because, you know, these days pretty much all of Tajikistan is connected to electricity, which is not something you could say 20 years ago. Plus the roads, thanks to a lot of Chinese investment, are actually really quite good. Then we have the ancient fortress of Hisor, which is around a 25 to 30 kilometre shared taxi ride from central Dushanbe. Shared taxis are a way of life in the Central Asian region, and so if you want to go anywhere, you're probably going to end up in a shared taxi because didn't really see any buses while I was there, and the train is very limited in where it can take you. It's basically, there's just an international train to Moscow from Dushanbe. So I took a shared taxi out to the fortress of Hisor, and I passed this bizarre giant egg as I went. So I thought I better capture that as I went past it. The Hisor fortress itself is around 2,500 years old. It's not strictly what you see there, what is pictured here is not really the original fortress in any way, shape or form. In fact, it's more of a recreation these days. Sort of underneath and in the area there is the ruins and the base of the original fortress, but you know, the government has decided to go the way of recreating it, I guess so it can create a nice big tourist attraction rather than excavating the area and seeing what lies beneath. And that, I guess, to me and to my tour guide, is kind of disappointing. Soon it was time though to leave the capital Dushanbe and head off into the mountains. I'm on my way to Iskanderkul. It's supposed to be cold. It's a lake at about 2,200 meters. I was told that I'd have to change in Salvador, except I paid 200 shomini, and apparently I'm going direct to Iskanderkul. I don't know what I'm going to find in the way of homestay or somewhere to stay there, but fingers crossed, hey, and let's see how we go. This could be interesting. We're going to go through the Anzob Tunnel, a very dangerous, apparently, tunnel that's 5 kilometres long, that's revolutionised travel in Tajikistan, so fingers crossed, we'll see how we go. The journey was finally on, and we were heading through the mountains, and before I knew it, we'd risen so far in altitude from Dushanbe that we were surrounded by snow, and the snow was even falling a bit lightly. We hit the Anzob Tunnel, which is also known as the Tunnel of Death. This is a slightly more than 5 kilometre long tunnel through the mountains, and it's one of the key tunnels that allows the country to be connected to the north from the south and the capital city. And obviously a lot of people have died going through it, especially in the early days. It's a lot better now, but it still doesn't have any lighting inside the tunnel. And we passed, in the share taxi, we passed a couple of workmen on the side of the road who are pretty much working in almost no light, and they are really taking their life into their own hands, I guess. As I said, the mountain rides were pretty hair-raising. The taxi driver didn't hesitate in passing people, no matter how tight the bend was or what sort of visibility he had, going forwards. And more to the point, in the Anzob Tunnel, he didn't balk at the idea of passing trucks or whatever was in front of him. So it was quite an experience. So a town a little way away still from Iskander-Kul is where we stopped, and I was put onto a four-wheel drive vehicle, and we made our way up a rocky road which was mostly unsealed, and this road took us into the mountains proper, and also past the lake itself until it reached Saritag, which is where I was staying that night at a homestay. And from the homestay, which was about 12 kilometres from the lake, I walked back down to the lake. So Saritag is actually higher than Iskanderkul, and I was able to walk around about half the lake, including past the president's holiday retreat, until I hit the little holiday camp that's based at the far end, for me, of Iskanderkul. That place was actually closed. I apparently missed the closing date by 1 week. Because obviously it's more of it's a summer attraction. It's not a winter attraction. I was there at the very start, like the 1st of November, around about then, and so it was pretty chilly, but it wasn't too bad. Hey y'all, we're here at Lake Iskander-Kul, and probably all you can hear is a bunch of wind, but I guess I'm trying to speak to the camera. And Anyway, it's been a long day. I left Dushanbe, left my hotel about 8 a.m. Got all the way out to Saritorg, where I'm staying in a homestay, and I hiked about 9-10 kilometres back here to the absolutely enchanting Iskander-Kul. I'm pretty much here on my own. I'm probably doing something illegal because these are the chalets behind me. I don't know if you can see anything, but they're not open. They apparently closed last week, so I missed them by a week. So I'm staying a little further down the road, about 10 k's over a mountain. And anyway, I hiked back down to the lake, and I've walked around about half of it. You can go a little bit further, but you can't walk around the whole thing as far as I know. And anyway, getting a bit chilly, but that's probably because I've stopped finally. Anyway, check this out for not a bad lake. Thanks for watching today, and don't forget you can find loads of content, photos, information and regular new posts 3-4 times a week on andysworldjourneys.com. That's my blog. You'll also find heaps of videos here on the Andy's World Journeys YouTube channel from loads and loads of different countries that I've visited over the years. So please check them out, and if you like the video, why not click like? And of course, don't forget to subscribe. May the journey never end.